Oh, no.
Welcome to the No, I'm Brian. Did Mass Effect Andromeda get a fair shake? That's a question that a BioWare executive asked very publicly recently, and he wondered if competition from other games ended up hurting Andromeda's reviews. In a very candid series of tweets, BioWare executive producer Mark Darrah went on Twitter to talk about why the 2017 game flopped so badly. He started off by tweeting, "I'm going to regret this in half an hour, but let's talk, did Mass Effect Andromeda get a fair shake?" Then he went on to talk about how the game released last March in a crowded field that included Nier Automata, Neo, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Zelda Breath of the Wild. That is a really stacked lineup. Darrah called Andromeda a flawed game and said that of the others, each does something better than Mass Effect Andromeda. And then he talked about the importance of review scores, saying that while the game got around 71%, maybe releasing it at a different time would have bumped it up a few points on like Metacritic and the other aggregators, but ultimately he concluded that you launch the best game you can. Mass Effect Andromeda has a lot of problems and got lapped by genuinely better games. Which honestly is true. To say the least though, it was an interesting glimpse into how insiders look at things like game release windows and review scores. Oh, and Darrah is currently the executive producer on another big upcoming BioWare game, Anthem, so let's hope for them it works out better. When it comes to crossplay between consoles, Sony has been a bit reluctant to play with others, to say the least. But after getting repeatedly criticized for not letting its players join their gamer brethren in other games like FORTNITE, one Sony official now says he's confident they'll find a solution to the crossplay issue. Sony Interactive Entertainment America CEO Sean Layden said at the Game Lab conference in Spain that Sony is looking into a lot of possibilities. When asked about crossplay by Eurogamer, he said, "We're hearing it. We're looking at a lot of the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community while at the same time supporting our business." It seems like your business is doing just fine. Just fucking let us play together. I'm just saying. Alright, it's been only a day or so since Epic Games rolled out its new Playground mode in FORTNITE, but for most of that time the mode has been down. Even right now, it's still down. Yes, after being up for just a few hours yesterday morning, Epic quickly took it down to fix matchmaking issues and do some maintenance. Last night, Epic posted an update on Reddit and basically said, it's still not ready. Its post said, "We know you want to get back out to the Playground LTM. We've got multiple teams working to get this mode back into your hands so you can let your imaginations run wild. We want to inform you that the Playground LTM will remain closed for repairs for the night. We'll have more information available tomorrow." Well, it's tomorrow while I'm talking to you. Still no information. It's a bummer, but at least they're still working on it. It might be up while you're watching this. I hope so. Speaking of Fortnite, while its Battle Royale mode is free, a lot of people have been spending real money in the game. A study conducted by Lend.edu found that 69% of players have spent cold hard cash for skins, emotes, and other cosmetic items. Of the 1,000 players they surveyed, Lend.edu found that almost 59%, not so nice, spent money on cosmetic outfits for characters, 18% bought gliders, more than 13% spent money on tools, and 9.5% bought emotes and dance moves. Interestingly, the average amount spent by players was more than $84. That's more than a AAA game costs, so if you're wondering why Fortnite continues to make so much money, there it is. The Switch version of Ys VIII LACRIMOSA of Dana released this week, and reviews are looking pretty solid. The port of the 2016 RPG has an 84 on Metacritic and got another 84 on OpenCritic. The Ys series, it dates way back to the 80s and follows the adventures of young Adol Kristen. And reviewers really liked the first game in the series. It's the first game in more than 8 years. They praised its combat, its story, and its character progression. Nintendo Life called it a true gem, saying, "With fun, fast-paced combat, likable characters, and an enjoyable story that takes full advantage of its beautiful shipwreck setting, Ys VIII LACRIMOSA of Dana is a top-shelf action RPG." But others said that the Switch port wasn't quite up to par with versions on beefier consoles like the PlayStation 4. RPG site called the game a polarizing experience and said it does something so well, such as offering the full breadth of PS4 content on the go and a mostly solid frame rate, but resolution woes, a translation that still leaves a lot to be desired despite seeing an overhaul, and more makes it somewhat hard to recommend this version of the game. It's out right now, so go check it out. The closed alpha for Battlefield 5 on PC starts today as the developers stress test the game's server to prepare for its rollout. The closed alpha is not only a way to test out the game's server, but it's also a chance to provide feedback on elements like maps, weapons, and vehicles. Players, you'll also get a chance to test the game's new attrition and immersion systems. The event is invite only, and invitation codes were sent to a small group of Battlefield players, so if you haven't gotten one, check your inbox, you might get lucky. Oh, and of course, Battlefield 5 releases October 11th for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Jared Leto playing a blood-sucking ghoul, it's not too hard to believe, but playing one in the Marvel Universe is a little bit out there. After a controversial portrayal of the Joker in Suicide Squad, it's a bit surprising that Jared Leto would be eyeing another comic book character, but that is what he's doing. The Hollywood Reporter says Leto will star as Marvel character Morbius for Sony. This will be yet another Spider-Man kind of villain, kind of anti-hero spinoff for Sony after the upcoming Venom movie. In the comics, Morbius is the living vampire who is a biochemist that takes on the traits, strengths, and some weaknesses of a vampire after, what else, a failed experiment. Sony is developing this with director Daniel Espinosa, who did the outer space horror movie Life recently, and writers Burke Sharpless and Max Sazama, who are best known for showrunning Netflix's new Lost in Space show. So we'll see what happens. Finally, another big step towards Disney buying 21st Century Fox came yesterday when the US Justice Department officially approved the merger. That's big news. So apparently the government has decided that Disney buying a competing studio as massive as Fox doesn't trigger any antitrust laws. There are some caveats though. Disney will be forced to sell all Fox Sports regional networks within 90 days of the purchase. It's fine for multiple movie studios to fold into each other, but apparently local sports channels is a big conflict, I guess. But still, this is a huge step forward towards this merger. The only thing standing in the way of Disney taking control of Fox's library, including all of the long-lost Marvel heroes, is possibly a higher bid from Comcast, which has been trying to shake this deal out from under Disney since they first began talks, so we'll see. Now, notably, Comcast might be able to offer Fox even more money, but they're at a disadvantage now because they can't promise that the government would approve the merger, so looks like Disney has the leg up. All right, that's all the news we've got for right now. Let us know what you think of all these stories in the comment sections below, and for all your news from every corner of the internet, like this video and subscribe to the know. Oh, and there is currently producing Sony Interactive Entertainment America CEO Sean Layden said at the Game Lab conference, a study conducted by LAND EDU